And one thing I also have noticed is that women are a lot dirtier than men. The majority of women's houses, I mean, in America anyway, other countries not so much. But here, I've seen that women are very dirty. There's makeup and lashes and just stuff everywhere in women's houses, and they
Ameera,
don't
that's not
clean.
one of the questions, and it seems
No,
like
it's not one of the
No,
questions.
that's the
I'm speaking
second. That's
about
the
I'm speaking
second.
about something else, right?
Who who are you referring to when you say women are dirtier than men? Because when I tell you, if you go into a man's bathroom compared to a woman's bathroom, that is not true.
Honey,
Because
no. That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. I have a
I'm asking the
business.
question, so answer that.
You just made a statement. You didn't ask me a question. You made a statement, right?
Who who are you referring to when you say women are dirtier than men? Because do you ever encourage your children to not do that in the mother's car?
Oh yes, I
Oh,
even
okay,
got the.
good.
I even spent.
Help.
I took the car to the cleaner, and in U.S. money, probably like maybe $250 to get the clean. They took all the seats out, everything, because they had to get everything, and like yo, and then I think 2 months later, the car was right back to the state it was.
Why
So
doesn't the mother, why would you have to tell that, like, why doesn't the mother have that discipline in her car? You know what I mean? Like, and one thing I also have noticed is that women are a lot dirtier than men. The majority of women's houses, I mean, in America anyway, other countries not so much. But here, I've seen that women are very dirty. There's makeup and lashes and just stuff everywhere in women's houses, and they don't
Ameera, that's not
clean.
one of the questions, and it seems
no,
like
it's not one of the
No,
questions.
that's the
I'm speaking
second. That's
about
the
I'm speaking
second
about
in.
something else. I can
That
speak
is the
about what I want.
second.
I can speak about what I like though. And the
Absolutely,
reason I brought that up,
but
the
we're
reason I brought that
on.
up is one minute. The reason I brought that up is because Innes was speaking about the cleanliness of a car. And this is another issue that I was speaking about when it comes to
But you are
women not being
insulting
fit.
people, and it has nothing to do with the topic.
I'm
Answer the
Can
sorry
I
if
say
you're
question.
I'm
something?
sorry if you're offended.
Sorry.
I'm
No, I'm
Sorry,
sorry if
can
not
I
you're
say
offended, but
something?
offended.
you're throwing insults, and it's almost unnecessary.
It's actually an observation
Because
more
I
than
don't think
anything.
an observation, but who? But of who? Who do you see? Who are you talking
America,
about?
the Western world,
And
everybody.
okay,
My
and
family has
sorry.
a
so
business
the
and we see
women
it all
that
the time.
you have put yourself around are the ones that you are talking about.
Honey,
Because
no. That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. I have a
I'm asking the
business.
question, so answer that.
You just made a statement. You didn't ask me a question. You made a statement, right?
Who who are you referring to when you say women are dirtier than men? Because when I tell you, if you go into a man's bathroom compared to a woman's bathroom, that is not true. And if you
No,
go to
women's bathroom is worst.
well, no, I'm sorry.
Women's
Then I
bathroom is
don't
worst.
I don't know. I don't know then where you go, but I know for a fact I have lived
I
with
feel like they're
three
all
different.
gross.
I
It's okay, because so Carmen, can I say something? This is
Sure.
we're not talking about your bathroom, your car. Is in
No.
general. I have seen it.
It
I
is.
have seen where
It is.
women are allowed, but I have something to say. Men are the disciplinary ones. And I
See it both
remember,
ways.
I remember that my grandmother sometimes was too soft. That would require for my grandpa to say something, and then we will listen. So here, I agree and disagree with Amira a little bit because it's like, why do you need to tell him? But in a way, that's the role of the men at the end of the day. Because I've
I
seen
do.
it. I,
I want to
I've seen
answer
it
your
with
But
my,
question too.
I've seen it with my
he's
grandpa. Because
specifically
hold on, hold
talking
on,
in
hold on,
a
hold on.
household.
Hold on. Men are like, oh, we're the disciplinary ones, but at the time to discipline people, they don't want to do it.
No,
So that's
he's
what I've seen with my grandfather is he would literally say, my grandma would say, oh, hey, enough time to, of playing. You guys
but
got to do something.
your
And then my
grandparents were
grandpa will be like,
together.
my grandparents were together.
His
And my
parents
grandma,
were not. Him and his wife are not. So that's why it said when we're talking about it being a blended parents, both parents blending and influencing the children, it is also his responsibility to make sure that his own children are respecting their mother and
I
her
agree.
property.
I agree.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
tell my daughter, to respect her father, and I also ask him for help sometimes. I'm like,
Exactly.
hey,
Yes. Then
he is
we
doing
agree. That's
this,
what I'm
and I
referring
will,
to.
and in a way, because I am a woman, and I know that it requires a lot for you to be very strict, especially for me. I am a lovey-dovey, so my daughter sometimes cannot understand my discipline. I go to him and I'm like, hey, look, she's doing this, and I need you to tell her, reinforce that that's not right. Maybe he will use different words. Maybe
Yeah.
sometimes my dad had picked when she's using her tone a little like high, and my dad not too long ago, like 2 days ago, he literally told my daughter, if you talk to your mom like that again, you'll see what's gonna happen to you.
And
I needed
I
my
do
dad to
believe,
say that, but nobody's asking him to do it. He just did it, but that's because that's what a man is supposed to do.
and I
That's
agree
that's
with
what I'm
I agree with that. Like especially when it's a son and they're getting to a certain age, because boys start to feel themselves. Oh, I'm taller than mom. I'm stronger than mom. Maybe I don't have to listen. I do think fathers need to step in, but that's why I think that balance is most important. Because my father would tell us all the time, "You don't speak to your mother that way." I remember when I became a teenager and I got sassy and I thought I was smart and I would say things to my mother and I would be snippy. My father's like, "Absolutely not in my house. That's not how it's going to work. That's not how it's going to fly. You're not going to talk to your mother like that." So I do think there's that balance, because the women are the softer, sweeter side, and the men are the disciplinarians. I remember my mother would say, "I'm going to tell your dad when he gets home," because she was a soft one. My dad, like, "Please don't tell dad. Whatever I got to do to make sure you don't tell dad, I will do it." Because I knew when dad came home, he was going to lay the hammer down. We were going to get spankings. There was no questions. If mom said, we were going to get a spanking. But I do also agree with Ameera in the fact that if it's the mom's car, she can uphold that standard in her vehicle. Because I'm not okay with people being nasty in my car. No, you're not going to drip ketchup and stuff in my car. I pay these bills. Like, you cannot spill and eat and crumbs in my car. If you do, you're going to take it and you're going to clean it. I'm going to have you take the vacuum cleaner and you're going to clean it up. So I'm not okay with that. So, but there is a certain standard you have to set just because it's your property. So again, I think there's a balance. I don't think there's a one or the other. I think balance is like key with all of this.
You
That's
just
my
can't generalize. Like you can't just say that one gender is completely this thing and one gender is completely the other thing.
because my car is super clean.
Oh my God, that
Thank
is
you for getting
so, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But the whole like we cannot generalize. Look, we have eyes. We can see what's typical and what's common. And just stating the obvious that is very common that most women can agree to. And just because somebody gets offended at that fact doesn't make it a generalization, makes it the truth that someone gets offended about.